Pocket FM.
To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.
Casey entered her room, aka the guest bedroom on the second floor where she usually stays when she visits the Dark Howlers pack, and she paced while biting her nails. She understood loud and clear that Damon wanted her out of here. But how can she leave? She just got here. Damon was never ecstatic to see her, but she always played her role of an airhead perfectly. She would ignore his grumpiness and accept any affection. And he never told her to leave. What changed? Casey got her phone and called her father.
Hi, Pumpkin.
Her father said in a singing voice that doesn't sound like it should belong to a vicious Alpha Richard of the Steelbite pack. Hi, Daddy. Casey spoke in a whiny voice which told him that something is not right.
What happened?
Damon told me to scram. He snorted.
What did you do?
Nothing. Really. Absolutely nothing. I arrived and I wanted to greet him, but he acted like I have a plague or something. He used his alpha pressure to make me submit and told me not to appear unless I have an appointment. I'm not sure what to do now. I don't want to leave. He just returned after spending 2 days with Marcy, and I need to find out how far they went. But if I insist, I might irritate him more.
Relax, dear.
Alpha Richard said. How can I relax?
Nothing happened with Marcy. I spoke with Alpha Edward, and he said that things are looking good, but he didn't say that they sealed the deal either. It doesn't matter how far he went with Marcy or any other woman, as long as he didn't agree to the Luna ceremony.
But if he didn't fall for Marcy, why did he avoid me? Alpha Richard thought for some time before responding.
It sounds to me that he is under stress.
Casey snorted. If he is under stress due to some random thing, he doesn't need to vent on me.
Don't you want to be his Luna?
Yes, yes! Casey confirmed enthusiastically.
Then you should learn to read his mood. Alpha's job is not easy. Other than managing his pack, Damon needs to handle relationships with other packs also. It's a job that never ends. When things are good, it's easy. But when he hits a rough patch, as is Luna, you need to observe and listen, and help him if you can. And if you can't, then don't bother him.
Casey pouted while thinking about her father's words. But how can I observe and listen if he doesn't let me come close?
He was probably irritable and you came suddenly. I know you are a ball of energy, but you need to do it gradually so that he doesn't notice you coming. It's all about the right approach.
Casey smiled. Thank you, Daddy. You always know what to say.
Of course, Pumpkin. Give him some time to cool off and try again, but be more subtle. If all else fails, be vulnerable. Real men love helping a lady in distress. And don't forget to pretend that you are clueless. If he suspects that you are putting on an act, he will really kick you out.
Got it, Daddy. Casey sent a smacking air kiss to the phone before ending the call. She plopped on the bed and stared at the ceiling. Right. She needs to give time to Damon to cool off, and then she will try approaching him again. Later. But what should she do until later? In the study room, Damon was still going through his emails when Caden entered after a brief knock. I've got you these to check and sign, Caden said while putting a stack of papers on Damon's desk. Damon frowned at Caden's gifts. Did Casey leave? Not that I know of, and I have no intention of going to her room to check. Damon's frown deepened. That's not her room. Caden chuckled. You know that she always stays in that room, and no one else uses it, so it's Casey's. Damon rubbed his forehead, and Caden observed him curiously. What's got into you? She is annoying. Caden agreed. Casey was always annoying. But what I don't know is, what changed with you suddenly telling her that she can't come without an appointment? You used her alpha on her. Damon paused. How is he supposed to answer this? Casey is acting like she owns the place, bossing Omegas around and upsetting Steph. Caden nodded in slow motion. Casey always did that, but you never cared. When I asked you why we are allowing Casey to stay. Damon exhaled irritably. Maybe I'm tired of her shit. He really didn't want to explain. Damon knew that Caden was suspicious, and he knew that Talia being his mate can't be hidden at this rate, but he didn't have a solution. Before anyone finds out that Talia is his mate, Damon needed to prepare himself and Talia for those who will come after Talia in order to get him. She will be put on the spot, scrutinized, hunted. Some will come openly and some will act from the shadows. Damon didn't want to see that. He wanted to see Talia energetic and happy, just how she was in the forest earlier that day. The other option was for Damon to get his act together and to convince everyone that Talia is just a girl who doesn't mean anything. But how can he do that when every woman he met so far is just a vague outline, while he can remember every speck of golden in Talia's honeyed eyes? Damon would need to be indifferent toward Talia and allow women like Casey to get close to him. He didn't care for Casey, her or any other. It didn't make much difference for Damon. But now, just the thought of contact with any other woman was repulsive. Damon stood up abruptly. "Where are you going?" Caden asked. "I need a break. I'm going to shower," Damon responded without halting his steps. When he approached his room, Damon paused, and he fought a mighty internal battle while deciding which door to take. On his right was his bedroom, the master suite on the 3rd floor. On his left was his old bedroom, and the faint scent of freesia told him that Talia was inside. Damon cursed under his breath and took the right. He needed a shower, a cold one. Shower didn't help to calm down Damon's raging emotions, and after dressing up, he went straight across the hall to find a cure for this newfound madness. Damon placed his ear on the door and listened intently. Nothing. He knocked gently a few times and waited. Nothing. Damon told himself to leave, just keep on moving. But the only thing that moved was his right hand, which held onto the doorknob, and he peeked into the room through the gap. "Talia?" he called. Nothing.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.
Talia blinked herself awake and first noticed the darkness. It had definitely passed dinner time, but Talia didn't mind. She buried her head deeper into the pillow, indulging in the softness and warmth that came with the scent of the forest and dark chocolate. Talia paused and took a few sniffs to confirm that her nose didn't play tricks on her. Talia looked around to ascertain that she stayed on her own. She felt confused. The room didn't smell like Damon before she fell asleep, but now it did. She liked his scent. It mixed her 2 favorite things, forest and a sweet treat. Talia wondered if Damon had come to check on her while she slept. Talia shook that thought away. Why would an alpha come to check on her? It seemed more probable that Stephanie or Maya brought something that had Damon's scent on it, but she couldn't see anything different. Talia decided to stop thinking about it. It didn't matter. She listened carefully and picked up no sounds. Considering the darkness and lateness, Talia thought of one pressing matter which included her going to the forest. Unfortunately, other than shiny flip-flops that Maya gave her earlier and running shoes with cracked soles, Talia didn't have any other footwear, so she opted for flip-flops. The pack house stayed quiet, with only dim lights along the hallways. When Talia reached the main floor, she remembered that Stephanie told her how she could go anywhere, kitchen included. So Talia decided to find a snack before heading out. Damon spent most of his afternoon coming up with various scenarios related to handling his relationship with Talia. He didn't know if he could pretend that Talia lacked importance. Her scent addicted him, and the sparks amplified it, and considering Damon's uncaring nature, it would only take a matter of time before people noticed that he acted differently around Talia. But maybe if he kept his distance from Talia when others stayed around, it might work. No matter what happened, he felt confident in one thing. He needed to keep her safe. Maybe later, when Talia's physical condition improved and she gained confidence, he would reconsider. But for now, it seemed better to keep her importance a secret. People close to him would probably notice, but those included only a few that Damon trusted anyway. So when they asked him about it, he would explain, but not sooner than necessary. Dinner became a lonely event without Talia, but Damon wanted to let her rest, remembering her sleeping face and the way she held onto his hand. Damon barely noticed Casey's presence. She stayed quiet and didn't try to get close, so it seemed easy to ignore her. After dinner, Damon met with Maya and Caden in his office. They normally did this status meeting once a week, but since they stayed away for a few days, they decided to have one before calling it a day. They discussed ongoing issues and made decisions when needed. They finalized their story about Talia's presence in the pack, and of course, there were a few random topics at the end.
"How is Talia doing?"
Maya asked Damon. "She is resting," Damon responded. He felt unsure if Talia still slept, but she did when he left her room, and he assumed that she would come down after she woke up. "What will we do about Casey?" Caden brought up the topic. "You told her to leave, but she still stays here. Based on disobedience, we can escort her out of the pack's territory." Damon puffed his cheeks while thinking about the best solution. "Let's ignore her. In a day or two, she will get bored and leave. I believe that she understood I won't put up with her antics, and that's why she stayed quiet over dinner." Caden and Maya both frowned at this.
"I think that Casey stayed quiet because she was plotting something,"
Maya said. Damon didn't disagree with this, but unfortunately, I can't do it without her committing a serious offense because I need to think about the pack. Based on Casey's behavior so far, she only chases after me. And saying she annoys me doesn't give a good reason to risk straining the relationship with the Steelbite pack. After Casey leaves, we will send a memo to the Steelbite pack and any other in the area that outsiders can't come and go as they please. Let's come up with a story that due to increased attacks, we raised our vigilance and non-members can't come without previous approval. That will allow us to stop Casey at the border next time. Damon spread his arms toward Caden and Maya. If you have a better idea, I'm all ears. There existed no better ideas. They all knew that Damon spoke correctly. They led a pack, and they had to put their personal feelings aside, even if facts backed them up. Unless firm evidence existed against Casey, they couldn't just out. But this showed progress. Damon never considered preventing Casey from coming to the Dark Howlers pack, and the fact that she could come and go freely emboldened her. Maya would love to witness when Casey found out that she couldn't come again because she didn't have approval from Damon, Caden, or Maya. And Casey would never get approval unless it involved official business and Alpha Richard, aka Casey's father, sent her as PAC's delegation. Of course, they all knew that Casey didn't come here without someone supporting her, and that probably meant her father. A girl with self-respect wouldn't allow repeatedly to be used by Damon when he felt like it. She definitely had an agenda. After the meeting, Caden and Maya left for their room, and Damon went to get himself a drink, a glass of water, or maybe orange juice, the same one Talia drank that morning. Damon planned that after having a drink, he would go and check if Talia had awakened.
"Alpha Damon?"
Casey called when he passed by the living room, and his steps halted. "Can I help you, Miss Casey?" Casey waited for Damon the whole afternoon, and she even looked in the common areas, but he stayed nowhere to be found. Over dinner, Damon acted like Casey didn't attend, but he didn't chase her away either. So Casey felt confident that whatever made him upset earlier that morning passed. This gave her a chance to get closer to him.
"Alpha Damon, I apologize for my behavior this morning. I didn't act sensibly about what's going on, and I acted recklessly."
Damon cocked an eyebrow. "And what do you think goes on?"
"You felt stressed, and instead of being mindful of your needs, I acted on mine. I didn't mean to disrespect you. I only felt excited to see you again.
Damon didn't buy it, but he felt curious what she plotted, and if he just called her a liar, she would never admit it. Apology accepted. Damon spoke and made a step to the side.
Where are you going?
To get a drink. He responded.
Can I join you? Why do you consider it?
Damon's wolf grumbled. Casey's expression lit up when Damon told her that she could accompany him, and she quickly latched herself onto his arm. Damon gritted his teeth and forced himself not to push Casey away. He represented a mighty warrior, and he could endure this. He focused so much on examining his emotions and containing his impulse to shake Casey off that he didn't notice another presence in the kitchen. Casey turned on the lights and Talia froze with an apple in one hand and a broken chunk of bread in another. Looking at Talia's clothes and bruised unknown appearance, Casey assumed that she looked at an omega. After all, if Talia had any standing, Casey would remember her. Casey frowned at Talia.
Are you stealing food?
Talia's eyes widened, and her heart thundered in her chest at the unpleasant memories that resurfaced due to Casey's expression and way of speaking. On instinct, Talia swiftly placed the bread and the apple on the kitchen counter like they burned her hands. Talia saw Damon glaring at her like she shouldn't be here, and her heart cracked a little. Talia lowered her head and closed her eyes while trying to suppress the swelling of negative emotions. Why did she think that this place would differ?
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.
Pocket FM. To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.